Today is 1104th day that I'm here to listen to learn. I'm learning. I hope you support your dreams. Your goals allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about one of the most important topics, and that is knowledge. Every single day I come here and share my lessons, and potentially I share knowledge. But I truly believe that knowledge is a very, very dangerous thing. Very dangerous, because sometimes you believe that knowledge is power. And I always say that knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is a potential power. That means there is a lot of misconceptions with knowledge. And today I really want to really lean into those misconceptions about knowledge. When you don't know those misconceptions, when we really bypass those potential mistakes that we could make about knowledge, we're actually able to use and take advantage of knowledge. Because knowledge is such a powerful tool when you're able to use it in a good way. But if we fall in those difficulties, maybe we fall in those misconceptions, at that moment, we can really fail to use knowledge in the most powerful way. So I want to share three categories of knowledge misconceptions that a lot of times stops people from really getting the best results out of it. So the first one is the nature of knowledge, or limitations of knowledge. And I'd love to share in that category three things as well. So number one is that there's a misconception that knowledge is static and absolute. Knowledge is static and absolute. So imagine that we are having a conversation right now, 2024, and I have a conversation. And we speak about the things that you like, the things that you hate, the person that you are, about your values. So that means I build knowledge about you, who you are at the moment. But do you believe that the same thing will be in 10 years? About your weight, about your height even, about your values, about your aspirations, about everything. Because you are changing, and your truths, your knowledge about you will change within 10 years as well. Exactly the same like if you are having an acorn and you plant a seed, and after 10 years come back in that place looking for that seed, will you find that seed? Probably not. One thing that it could be that maybe bugs ate that seed if it didn't grow, or otherwise you can really find a tree in the same spot. So true is never static and absolute. Now, I understand that there's some laws, gravity are absolute. But 99% of knowledge is not absolute and it's not static. It's changing over time. So what was right in one time could be not right and true in the next time. And that's why even physics, technologists find that the things that they confirmed in the past is not actually what's confirmed, and they are able to claim and really find a way how to really change the technology that now finally they understand what actually is happening. Second misconception is that failing to differentiate between knowledge and belief. And this is very interesting. Knowledge and belief. Knowledge and opinion. And I think that's a lot of times we have a lot of discussions and arguments and conflicts because we do not able to really have that understanding. What is knowledge, valid, assessed knowledge, and what is belief? I think one of the best examples is that let's imagine that you are speaking with your friend who is amazing biologist and he knows what he does and he gives you an acorn. And you're young, you don't know about acorns, etc. Go plant an acorn and there will be a massive, massive tree after 10, 20 years. And you believe him. And you go and plant that acorn and then waiting until the tree will come out. Now, do you know the knowledge about the acorn, why it grows? You don't know any information. You don't value it. It's just your friend who you trust. You believe in him. You believe in that person, and you went and planted the acorn, and you believe that it will grow. I think that that's a lot of times we base our knowledge because now we think that we know that this acorn will grow, but we believe that this will grow. It's a very interesting thing that sometimes we heard that information, didn't validate it, didn't got knowledge, we just believe. We got that from someone else. And we believe that is knowledge, even though this is a belief. And we need to be very, very careful to really put beliefs into knowledge bucket. Because those beliefs are not really valuable sometimes. And number 3 is that misconception is that knowledge is universally transferable. Not always. Some are, some not. Now imagine that you are wanting to grow the same acorn tree. And you know exactly how you're supposed to plant, you're supposed to water it, and you know exactly that knowledge, how you're supposed to do it. So it means that you know how to plant the tree. But now imagine that you're going to a whole different country, whole different temperature. Everything is different. So it means that the way how you used to plant in different country might be changed because the environment changing. So how that environment will change your knowledge? It might be that it will change significantly. Maybe you are in a desert. That acorn tree will not grow in the desert. It's impossible to grow for the oak tree in the desert. So it means that that knowledge will not be useful in the desert. So that means you need to ask, is my information is useful in this environment? Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes when we travel and move and work and really think that we will be able to transfer everywhere where we go that my knowledge, it might be that it's not the case. And that's why we need to be very careful. Because if we think that our knowledge will be transferable, we will underprepare. Because we going to different direction, different culture, different surroundings with the belief that our knowledge will be enough. But when we come here, we realize that our knowledge is not enough. So that means we are underprepared. So being able to understand it leads to preparation. Second category of misconceptions about knowledge is knowledge and actions and impact versus like knowledge versus action. I think that there is a belief that knowledge without action produces results. That when you have that knowledge, it's almost like a power. Knowledge is power. But that's not true. For me, like the best example is like imagine that you going in life, going in the forest, and you grabbing all the acorn seeds, and you're grabbing, and you have a full bag of acorn seeds. So you have full of acorns. At some point, it will become quite heavy. You have so many acorns, but now you didn't plant any acorns. So that means that your gathering will not bring any fruits in your life. If you want to have fruits, and of course acorn doesn't have any fruits, oak doesn't have any fruits, but in general, there are a lot of trees that produce fruit. So that means that if you actually want to get something out of those seeds, of those acorns, you need to plant them. You need to take action, not just gather information, not just gathering knowledge. That's a big misconception. That's why people say like, oh, knowledge is power. No, knowledge sometimes is a big bags of seeds in your hands. You're able to plant those seeds by implementing and taking action, but it's your choice. Will you take an action or you will leave it in your bags and it will carry with you all the time? Next one is that more skills equal more success. More skills equal more success. And a lot of times we have that more knowledge, more success. And that's not true. I think that regarding the skill sets is that you have two options. You can potentially have multiple tools and be average in them, or you can have one or two tools and could be amazing in them. And again, this is important to understand what kind of tools for what you need to use. Imagine that you are going to plant an oak tree. And you have an acorn and you want to plant it. So it means that why do you gather knowledge? Why you develop the skill set, how to have a hammer, how to nail the nails, how to use a screwdriver? Why do you practice those kind of skills that will not be used to plant a tree? That means that if you have a goal to plant a tree, why do you need those skill sets? Why do you need that knowledge? How to potentially build a house? You plan to get the tree. So that means that if you want to plant a tree, you gather information to plant a tree. Nothing else. I think that we get so distracted by so many important information. Oh, I might need to build a house. So maybe I will learn how to really put the plywood on. Maybe something else. We don't need that information. If when we'll need it, we'll gather it. But what do I need right now in my life? Because skills are great, but sometimes the most important part is understanding that the great results coming from expertise in your specific skill set that you need right now. Because the better your skill set right now, the faster you finish the goal that you have right now, and you will be able to move to another goal, and then you will be able to really look how to develop the skill sets that you need at that moment. That's a big, big, big thing. So that means information gathering doesn't drive success alone. So we need to understand that knowledge is a tool. Everything is a tool in success. And knowledge is a tool. There's a lot of things that we're able to use to succeed. We're able to use the effort. We're able to use execution. We're able to use gratitude. And knowledge is a tool. One of the tools to succeed. And that means that we need to really take advantage of it. Knowledge alone will not give us success. But when you really have that extra tool in your belt, of course, that will be massive help. The last category that I want to really discuss is personal growth and fulfillment in the relationship of knowledge. So one misconception is that intelligence and knowledge are synonyms. Intelligence and knowledge are synonyms. That's all not true. I see a lot of knowledgeable people who have no knowledge, intelligence at all. So what are the difference between knowledge and intelligence? Knowledge is knowing the data, understanding the data. Intelligence is problem solving, critical thinking, analytical thinking. So being able to really use that knowledge. Because a lot of times people know the knowledge, but they have no idea how to implement it, how to use it, and how to use it when the external things changing. So it means that when things change, at that moment they need to learn from someone else how to implement the same information in a different environment. While intelligence, they're able to start to think, okay, how to solve this problem. And they're able to find a way how to use the knowledge in a different situation. And that's the huge difference. That's why people who are intelligent succeed. People who have knowledge, not all the time. And a lot of times we need to understand that intelligent people invest their time in communication, while people who have knowledge do not. Because a lot of times it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. What matters is how well you implement it and how well you explain and communicate how much you know. So that means that the last misconception is that knowledge is the direct path to success. And that's not true. That's not true. And as I said, that if we actually want to have knowledge path to success, we need to develop so many things. We need to develop intelligence. We need to develop wisdom. We need to develop execution skills. We need to really understand that knowledge itself will never achieve that. It needs to develop leadership, communication skills, all the things that we develop around the knowledge. So knowledge enhances things, but it doesn't build anything. Knowledge is not a foundation. Knowledge is a roof of your building, but not a foundation, not even walls. If we really want to really succeed, we need to understand that the first thing first, we build our communications, intelligence, wisdom. And when we understand problem solving, when we understand the wisdom, when we understand what we're supposed to, what kind of knowledge exactly do we need, then we go and find it. I think there's more misconceptions with knowledge And that's why I think there are so many people who are over educated but not wise. I have so many friends who theoretically not educated, but is the smartest, most intelligent people that I know. Because they know that they're street smart. And they gather information, they know what kind of information is valuable, and they go and get it. And that's why people pay a lot of money to get mentorship from them, because they know what information are the most successful, what information are the most needed for people, and they know how to bring value to people. Because knowledge itself doesn't bring value. The right knowledge brings massive value. So I hope that you will reflect as well. What kind of knowledge are you gathering right now? And what is the reason behind it? Because knowledge gathering without a reason sometimes is taking you away from success. I think that sometimes gathering information, gathering knowledge could be you taking away from your goal, because this is a valuable time. That time could be really allocated to gather the right information or execution, while you really gather information that might be useful in the future. Hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.